Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Gonna break the mold like the commentary cool kid that I truly am. A little while ago on YouTube, a trend was started by one of my favorite movie reviewers, Your Movie Sucks, where he made a video discussing some of the movies and episodes of TV shows that scared him as a child, namely a show called Ghost Rider he used to watch as a small little Canadian boy. He called this video Childhood Trauma, and sort of nominated a few other creators, like Ralph the Movie Maker and Chris Stuckman, to do their own versions of this video, which then started a trend of a bunch of other small content creators joining the parties so that they could ride on the coattails of more popular creators who are better than them in every way to attain some menial level of success of their own. Initially, I was going to be like some of these people and do my own take on the childhood trauma craze, but then I took a step back and realized halfway through writing the script that it wasn't very good, and that I wouldn't be adding much to the conversation, so making that video would inevitably be a pointless endeavor, which I would not enjoy finishing and posting. So I abandoned the script, and it has been sitting in my Google Drive ever since. But over the past few weeks, an idea has been developing in my mind, which I think would actually make a pretty good video, and if you read the title of this video, then you already know what that is. Nostalgia is something we all feel towards certain things from our past, whether that be certain memories of events in time, places, people, objects, or toys, pieces of media like games and movies. We all have those things that we can look back on and get that warm, fuzzy feeling inside when we think about them. They remind us of happier times when we were innocent. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Some things that I'm nostalgic for from my past that give me that comfortable, warm feeling. Obviously, this is my list. I am not saying you have to agree with anything that I'm about to say. You can have your own opinion about this and your own experiences that I don't care about. I'm surprised I even have to say this, but chances are someone will get offended by the subjective list, which is just my personal opinion based on experiences that I personally have had. So if anyone actually becomes angry at me because of this video, then I'll just assume that they're complete and total morons. Alright, now that I've justified myself, let's discuss some of the media that I feel nostalgic for. I have nothing else interesting to say here, so I'm going to reuse an unfunny joke. Cue the title card. One of the things I used to do as a boy, as I'm sure many of you did and probably still do, is play video games. Well, I stopped playing video games because I'm not a gamer loser like all of you people. Just kidding, I'm less mature. I still watch cartoons made for 12-year-olds. Really, I don't know why I don't play video games anymore. It's not because I don't have the time. If I just cut a little time out of YouTube, I could definitely play some games pretty often. I guess I just lost interest. It's not really fun for me anymore if I'm just playing it by myself and it takes too goddamn long to start up PUBG, which I hate, but regardless, I used to play quite a few games. The first console I ever received was a PlayStation 2 for the Christmas of 2008, the year after the PlayStation 3 came out. If I had received something like that for Christmas now, I'd probably be pretty disappointed, but back then, due to my limited knowledge of the gaming industry and technology in general, I thought it was the coolest shit ever. The only game that came with it was Lego Batman, but I didn't care. I was so obsessed with Batman and Legos at the time that I thought it was amazing to get something like that, and boy, was it great. I don't know how much time I spent exactly on that game, but I'd guess probably upwards of 100 hours, playing the story mode over and over again, beating all the boss fights with people like the Riddler, the Joker, Mr. Freeze, and the entire rogues gallery of the Batman universe. Some of the fondest memories I have are of me and my friend Paul I had at the time, sitting on our asses and screaming about a game that in retrospect was pretty nonchalant and not really exciting at all, but back then I couldn't get enough of it. But of course, that wasn't the only game I got. By the time I was 10 years old, I had like 40 games for that thing, from Mortal Kombat Deception to 007 Nightfire to games like Medal of Honor, which I actually picked up in a used game store for $8 and played the shit out of. I have basically had all the experiences that a real World War II soldier has had. I stormed the beaches in Normandy with like 6 other people. I fought through France and shot up Germans in the Battle of the Bulge. I was so badass. I mean, I remember sitting in my room and screaming at the top of my lungs things like, "Oh yeah, got him. Yeah, you stupid kraut. Lil Pump. Gucci Gang." To the point where my parents had to constantly tell me to shut the hell up. But out of all the games I played, the one which was my favorite and is still one of my all-time favorite games to this day is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. I actually didn't buy this game and neither did my parents. My cousin gave it to me with a few other games like Crash Bandicoot and Jak 2. And yeah, those games are good and I still like them, but SpongeBob was what I was playing. At the time, I was watching a lot of the show on Nickelodeon and waiting for Fairly Odd Parents to be over so I could watch it! Because that show is obnoxious and stupid. Words which I will stand by until the end of time. But it was definitely worth it to watch SpongeBob. So when I saw the game, I was like, I know that. It's everyone's favorite normie, SpongeBob. So I popped the game in the pizza box, took a trip to Pizza Hut, and oh boy, it was pretty fun. I liked it. The game is set up like an open world, more so than other platformers like Crash Bandicoot or Sly Cooper, where you just have a super small hub world. But in this game, you can explore all of the major locations from the show, from SpongeBob's Pineapple to the Krusty Krab, the Chum Bucket, and that's just Bikini Bottom. You can go to other places and do missions to collect golden spatulas, such as the first mission, Jellyfish Fields, the Flying Dutchman's Graveyard, the Mermalayer, Kelp Forest, and pretty much all the other locations from the TV show. These spatulas basically act as the stars from Super Mario 64, letting you into new areas to collect new spatulas and do different missions. Overall, it's just a really fun game. I won't go any further into it because I don't want to take up too much time, but if you have a PS2, GameCube, or original Xbox lying around, definitely check it out. Needless to say, I had a lot of fun with that PS2, but after I got an Xbox 360, I stopped playing it to play Halo Reach. I still liked it, but I got a bit bored. But one day, I was feeling a bit nostalgic and decided to play it again, but I couldn't, because my parents sold it behind my back. Thanks, Mom and Dad! I love you so much! Another thing I did a lot as a small boy was watch movies, and there are a few which I have a particular sense of nostalgia for. Generally, I would watch these movies on this weird little beat-up DVD player I had, one of the ones that opens up like a clam or a Nintendo DS. Two of the movies I would watch a lot were the original two Spider-Man movies, basically the only good ones that would ever come out until Spider-Man Homecoming was released. Basically, I would watch these movies every day for about 8 months, literally just doing nothing but wake up, go to school, get home, and watch one of these movies. With a lot of things I enjoyed during my childhood, I look back on them now and I think, wow, that was fucking terrible. But these movies I still really enjoy, and I think they are really good. Sure, they're goofy, but that's kind of the point. They're self-aware and don't take themselves too seriously, not in the same way that something like Rick and Morty does, where it's openly cynical or anything like that, but it's more that they realize what they are. The director, Sam Raimi, clearly knew that he was making a movie about a very dumb concept. A guy who wears a red and blue suit and can swing from web vines and climb up walls. So he didn't pretend it was something else. He clearly had some fun making it, but that doesn't mean he didn't try to make it good or meaningful. To me, they are still the best Spider-Man movies because not only are they goofy and funny, but there's also quite a bit of emotional investment, and it takes some topics seriously. For example, that scene when the Green Goblin busts in on Aunt May is still freaky to me to this day. Some other movies I have lots of nostalgia for are animated movies, particularly ones made by Pixar and DreamWorks. I still have all of these movies on DVD, like The Incredibles, Nemo, Cars, and Shrek. Funnily enough, I don't have a lot of nostalgia for that one. Probably not because it's been memed to shit to the point where anytime I think about Shrek, my thoughts can't help but wander to a video of a small boy being raped ferociously while Shrek smiles. That can't have anything to do with it at all. Probably the animated movie I watched the most as a small boy was Toy Story, and hot diggity damn Daniel Keem was it good. This was the first feature-length film for the studio that made it, Pixar, and it ended up being a massive success, putting CGI animation in the public light and propelling the studio to stardom. I don't really feel the need to explain anything about it, as I'm sure you've already seen it. If not, then I mean, just go watch it. Like, hit me up on Twitter, just DM me, I'll send you a copy, man. You gotta see this movie. The rest of the movies by Pixar are still good, but Toy Story is really the best in my humble opinion. There's just something charming about the animation of all the toys, even if all the humans look really creepy. They look like puppets. Watching this movie again, I didn't remember how much of a jerk Woody was. Like, damn, he is a total dickhead in this movie. But it's still good, and I really enjoyed revisiting it for this video. Last in today's video, I figured I would talk about some movies and other internet memes that I feel nostalgic for. I'm not actually going to talk about memes. I like memes, but I won't let them pollute this channel. When I was a small boy, my first experiences on the internet were playing Flash games, mostly on websites like Newgrounds and Addicting Games. Stuff like Exit Wound, Age of War, mostly just poorly made Flash games that in retrospect weren't very good. And while the games on Newgrounds were sometimes fun, the thing that interested me the most was on the animation side of things. I remember I went to school one day and was talking with my friends, and one of them wouldn't stop talking about something called Metal Gear Awesome. So when I got home, I decided to hop on the family computer without my parents' permission like the gangsta I was, and typed it into the Yahoo search bar. I clicked on the link, and automatically I was hooked. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. I didn't even know what the game Metal Gear Solid was at the time, but I still really liked it. The animation was crude, and I didn't understand most of the jokes because I hadn't been exposed to a lot of profanity or lewd humor at that time, but I was still really into it. After watching the first one, I decided to watch the rest of the awesome series that had been released at the time. Keep in mind, this was before Egoraptor, Oni, or any of the prominent Newgrounds animators had moved to YouTube to make money, and way before YouTube made it so that they could barely make any money at all. Newgrounds was a pretty cool place at the time, and it still is. Its time in the spotlight has just passed, which is rather sad, but to be honest, I don't think it was ever really made to be popular past around 2012 or so. Its influences and humor was so ingrained in the culture of the late 90s to early 2000s with stuff like video games, movies, and cartoons, that maybe it's for the best it didn't become a corporate money-hungry monopoly like another website I know all too well. Pornhub. YouTube. I meant YouTube. Initially, I didn't really like YouTube as a young kid, actually. It was very confusing and odd to me. All I had really seen up until then was TV and Newgrounds really for instant entertainment, and for some reason, Newgrounds was just more appealing to me than YouTube, most likely because everything looked like a cartoon. However, once I got to the old and tired age of 8 years old, I began watching YouTube very consistently, again finding out about it through a friend. After school, because my parents were working and didn't want to pick me up and because they didn't trust me enough to let me take the bus home, I would be sent to this place called Aftercare. Some people call it after school or something like that. Basically, it was just a bunch of unqualified college students trying to keep obnoxious elementary schoolers entertained until their parents pick them up. Me and my friends were sitting in this place called the Game Room, just being a bunch of gamers, and playing some game on the Xbox they had there. Not entirely sure what it was, but it was most likely one of those weird Pac-Man ghost games. When I noticed one kid had his iPod with him and was watching something on it, I quickly joined him and saw he was watching a video of someone else playing a game with blocks and weird textures. At the start, I didn't understand why he was watching someone else play a game, but during the next hour, I watched enough Minecraft to lead to a 3-year-long obsession with the game, which dragged out until the middle of junior high. Shameful, I know. But if you were close to the age of 10 years old around 2011 to 2013, then you know firsthand what the Minecraft craze was like. I once again hopped on the family computer and went straight to YouTube, typed in Minecraft, and started watching videos like a madman until my dad finally kicked me off. From then on, I would consistently watch people like Captain Sparkles, Stampy, and Sky Does Minecraft, which is a little surreal in retrospect considering I got in a Twitter argument with him and a bunch of other YouTubers. But more on that in the next video. I watched so many goddamn Minecraft videos that literally the only thing I could think about was playing the game. It was honestly an unhealthy obsession to have, but in the long run it's not one that I regret having. If I hadn't started watching YouTube back then and developed such a deep admiration for online content creation and the creators in general, then chances are I never would have started this channel and evolved my content to the point now where I'm happy with it and what I'm making, and be able to make stuff for all of you guys. Oh shit, I forgot that I'm supposed to be a depressed, cynical, whiny complainer all the time. Thanks, or whatever. Oh boy, that was longer than I expected, that's for sure. I thought I would only spend like 5 minutes talking about things I'm nostalgic for, but turns out I'm even more of an immature child on the inside than I thought I was. Looking back on some of the pieces of media I enjoyed when I was a little kid was actually really fun. Probably the most fun I've had making a video in a while. It's nice to take a break from complaining about movies and YouTubers, but don't worry, I'll be back to that very soon. Enough about me though. Today I have once again selected some content creators who make very good videos that you should all check out. After I give these guys a shout out, I'm done for a while, but I guess I just can't help myself. There are so many good content creators who are not receiving the attention they deserve, I figure I might as well go ahead and try to give them some support. Luix and Yellow Syrup are two very good content creators who make fantastic videos. Generally, they are in a documentary style about things like YouTubers, games, and movies, but they also insert their opinions into them as well, which is nice. The editing on both of their channels is just great as well. I like to spend a lot of time editing to make my videos look nice, but damn, these guys, especially Luix, are basically professionals at this stuff, so I would appreciate you all subscribing to these guys, watching a few of their videos, and leaving them a nice comment or two, because they really deserve it. Syrup is actually trying to raise money for his computer right now because he's a broke piece of shit! But if you happen to have some extra cash laying around, then it would be cool if you could go check out his GoFundMe, which I have linked in the top comment and in the description. Don't feel obligated, obviously, but if you're feeling generous, then shoot him a buck or two. If you have any nostalgic childhood experiences, then I would appreciate you leaving a comment down below to let me know your opinion. I always love to hear what you guys have to say. I've got quite a bit to talk about in the next video, some people to tear into, basically what I do best. Thanks so much for watching. Turkey Tom, out.